She sailed away on a lovely summer's day on the back of a crocodile. You see, said she, he's as tame can be. I'll ride him down the Nile. The croc winked his eye as she waved them all goodbye, wearing a happy smile. At the end of the ride, the lady was inside, and the smile was on the crocodile. Right, we can't forget he's a wild animal. And the story I'm going to tell you today is also about wild animals. One of them, a very big one. Let's start with him, our beautiful lion. Okay. And often, because he is so beautiful, he's called King of the Jungle. And then the other one, a rather lazy little animal. Okay. This one over here. All right. He's our Dassie. Okay. He lives on rocks. And he likes to live on the rocks because the rocks get hot, and he likes being warm and hot, and he likes climbing up and down the rocks. Okay. And he's got little pads on the end of his feet, so his feet don't get sore when he's climbing up and down the rocks. Okay. If you've noticed, I'll show you again quickly. Okay, have a good look. Okay, our little Dassie doesn't have a tail. And so the story is about why the Dassie does not have a tail. Right, now I said to you before, here's our story, and there's our king, superb lion. Right, and the lion was king of the jungle, right? And he was so proud to be king. He knew he was beautiful. He had a gorgeous big mane, and he had a lovely tail. Now, that tail was very important to him, you know, because when it got hot in summer and he had all these flies flipping and swishing around him, take his tail, he'd swish them away. But he felt rather bad because the other animals in the jungle then did not have any tails. He was the only animal in the jungle who had a tail. And so one day he thought, this is a little bit unfair. I might be king of the jungle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each and every animal a little tail so that when the flies annoy them, they can use their tail to swish the flies away. And that's what he did. He made the animals all a present and a tail, and he put them in a packet. The first animal he called in was Baboon. And he said to Baboon, do me a favor, please. Go and talk to the animals. And I want you to tell them tonight, when the sun goes down, come back to the rock here. And what I want them to do is just to come, and I have got a present for them. Well, the baboon was very excited, as you would be if somebody told you you were going to get a present. And so he ran off to go and speak to all the other animals. But you can guess, when he got to this animal, this little animal said, I'm on the rock, I'm staying here, I'm not going anywhere, I don't want to be part of going to visit the king. And the baboon was very cross with him and said to him, I beg your pardon, that is the king, and if he summons you, you go. And then the Dassie said, I'm too small and I'm too tired and I don't want to go all that long way. But if he's got a present, won't you bring it back for me? Because I would like a present, but I don't want to go all that way. Well, you know, the other animals were not lazy like the Dassie, and the squirrel was also small. But the squirrel listened to the king. Squirrel went. Other animal, very big and heavy, he had a long way to go, but he went. Elephant went, squirrel went. They didn't argue. And of course, monkeys are always curious and inquisitive. Monkey went as well. Okay, because he wanted to see what was going to happen and what present he was going to get. So the king looked at all the animals and he got out his bag. And he started handing out tails to the animals. Some of the animals were able to choose, and some of them just said, we want a surprise. So the first animal to get her tail was Squirrel. And Squirrel got a huge tail, very big. Then Elephant got his tail, not so big. Let's put Elephant there, then you can see him nicely. Elephant got his tail, not so big. And of course, who got his tail? The happiest of the lot, Monkey. He was so thrilled with his tail, and you and I know why. He's got a very long tail. So the animals had all got their tails, and they were very, very happy. But the king looked at them and said, I've got an animal missing here, and the animal I've got missing here, because I know Baboon has been, and I've already given Baboon his present. But the animal that is not here is the Dusty. Where is the Dusty? And the animals had to say, well, he wasn't obedient and didn't want to come. And the king was very good because he thought about it. He just thought about it. And while he was thinking about it, the squirrel looked at her tail and said, it's a huge tail, and I've got a little body, and this tail is so big and long, but I have a tail, so I'm very happy with my tail. But I'm going to have to learn how to manipulate this tail. And the elephant thought, but I'm this big, amazing, majestic animal, and look, I've just got this little thing. The king gave me this little thing. But Elephant remembered the king was old, the lion was old, and maybe he hadn't seen so well. And the elephant was grateful he had a tail. And of course, who was the happiest of the lot? The monkey, to have such a long, splendid tail. And so Lion spoke to the monkey and said, you know what, I'm not happy with Dusty because he didn't listen. But one thing for sure I can tell you, I'm going to give Dusty a second chance. And he opened his packet, and at the bottom of his packet was a tiny, tiny little fluffy thing. And he said, you go back now and you give that to Dusty. But remember, Monkey was quite cross with Dusty. And so Monkey went along and he spoke to Dusty. And when he saw Dusty, Dusty said, oh, have you got a present for me? Have you got a present for me? And Monkey said, yes, I have got a present for you. Because the king is kind and he has sent you a present. He sent you this little tail. But because you're disobedient, I'm not giving it to you. Monkey took this little piece of tail, put it on the end of his tail. He said, now you can see. I've got such a smart tail because I've put your little bit of fluff at the end of my tail. And you don't deserve to have the tail. And I think Dusty was a bit sad. Especially, who else lives in the rocks with Dusty? Yeah. Baboon. And look at Baboon's magnificent tail. So I think there were days when Dusty must have thought, I was silly not to go, but I really didn't deserve that present. And he really didn't. And even today, Dusty's a little lazy, and that's what I said at the beginning, tends to like to just sleep on the rocks. And so that is a story. It is, of course, a story of how the animals got their tails. But I have a little person here, not a person, an animal, who said to me, please, Mrs. Hamilton, don't tell that story. I don't like that story. And guess who it is? It's Squirrel. And I said, Squirrel, why don't you like this story? And Squirrel said to me, I think my tail is magnificent. And that story says, my tail was too long for my body. But I can run with my tail. I can climb with my tail. I can even jump up the tree with my tail. It gives me balance, and I love my tail. And so I said to her, don't worry, squirrel. The children in grade R, once they've seen your magnificent tail, they're going to say, you have got a magnificent tail. And I think the children are going to think your tail's magnificent too. So you know what? I don't think you've got to worry about the story when that little squirrel thought his tail was very big, because you're proud of your magnificent tail. And I'm so proud of you. And you know what? The grade R's are lovely. They're going to be proud of you too. And they're going to have loved the story.